Hi, this is John Gardner again, and for my second film for Category 2 in Ethics, I chose Sophie's Choice. Now, I had never seen this movie before, so I had to borrow it from somebody to watch it. But in this one, what I kind of took away from it and my philosophical argument is that sometimes choosing the greater good isn't enough for happiness. So where I got this from was the main element of the main situation where Sophie sits down and she's talking with the young guy, and she's like, "I'm going to tell you something that I've never told anyone else before," and she goes into the detail of how she had to choose which one of her kids would be taken away to camp and which one was not. Now, had she not made a choice, both of the children would have been taken away, which would have been worse. So the best possible good that she could have chosen was what she did. Eventually, chose to take my daughter. But that ended up not even making her happy, and basically she said that you don't want me as a mom because of it. So even though she did choose the greater good, she still wasn't happy and ultimately just didn't even feel that she was fit to be a parent anymore. And the second element in that movie that I kind of take away is re-emphasizing that point of my philosophical argument that making the best decision at the time doesn't necessarily bring happiness, or isn't enough to bring happiness, is the last part of the movie, where she chose to leave the young guy that loved her and was willing to put up with anything that she was willing to put out and was looking out for her. She made what she thought was the best choice, that she thought that she was just not capable of being that person that he wanted, and that he had his whole life ahead of him, and she didn't want to burden him down with herself. So she made the choice to leave him so he could ultimately be happier and go back to her paranoid schizophrenic ex, because maybe she felt that he was the best choice for her, or he needed her more than he did. So ultimately she felt like she made the right choice, it seemed like, but then at the end, as we know, they both ended up committing suicide. And so there was no true happiness out of it. So again, it just seemed like this movie, although it was very kind of dramatic and sad, it wasn't a happy movie by any means, but in those two situations, it seemed like she did make the best decision that would give her the ultimate amount of happiness. And it turned out that in neither case did she ever experience that true happiness. So that's my philosophical argument for that movie. I hope it makes sense. But that was the things that I was thinking about as I was watching it. And there's a lot of movies that have that same kind of theme. But ultimately, those were the things that I was thinking about as far as the ethical portion of it. That, even though that she made the best decision that brought the most happiness at the time, or was being forced to, it was still better than the alternative in ways, but yet it still didn't reap happiness, which you would think it would, according to our philosophical stuff that we talked about in class as well, as far as ethics go. So that's my interpretation. That's my philosophical argument. Thank you again.